Have you ever daydreamed about that life of, total freedom, working from anywhere you want, setting your own hours, really being your own boss? For a lot of people, that's the big promise of trading. It's not just a career path, it's a whole lifestyle. But let's be real, what does it actually take to make that dream happen without completely burning out? Well, today we're going to break that down. We're going to talk about how to design a life, not just a career.
The dream is so powerful, isn't it? On one side, you've got everything you want: flexibility, the autonomy to make your own calls, the freedom to travel, and that constant mental puzzle to solve. But there's always the other side of the coin. The reality can be incredibly tough. We're talking about burnout from staring at screens all day, a deep sense of isolation because you're working alone, crazy high levels of stress, and these wild emotional swings with every win and loss. So the big question is, how do you get the dream without getting swallowed up by the reality?
Well, that brings us to our first big idea here, something called the trader's paradox. Now, this might sound completely backwards at first, but I promise you, this is the absolute bedrock of a long, sustainable trading life. And this quote just nails it. It really gets to the heart of the conflict. The very freedom you're chasing, well, you can only get there through its total opposite: intense, hardcore discipline. Without a solid structure that you build for yourself, the so-called freedom of trading just becomes chaos. So it's not about being free from rules, it's about being free because of your rules. Okay, so how do you build that structure? It all starts with building a fortress. And I mean a fortress both in your mind and in your physical space. This is what's going to protect you from the wild swings of the market, and maybe even more importantly, from your own emotions. The foundation of this fortress is something we call mental fortitude. And this is so, so important. This isn't about being some kind of robot with no emotions. It's about having an unshakable commitment to your trading plan and your process, no matter how loud that voice of fear or greed is screaming in your head. It's the one skill that lets you stick to your strategy nice and calm, even when the market is going completely haywire. And check this out. Your physical environment plays a huge role in your mental state. Having a dedicated, quiet area, that draws a line in the sand. It tells your brain, okay, this is where we work. A good ergonomic setup helps prevent that physical drain that just clouds your judgment. Multiple monitors let you see the big picture. And reliable internet with a backup power supply, think of that as your insurance policy against a technical glitch that could cause a financial disaster. This stuff isn't about luxury, it's professional-level risk management. And of course, your fortress needs walls to keep out distractions. This means you have to set some serious boundaries. Treat your trading hours like a surgeon in the OR. Absolutely no interruptions. Turn off the phone notifications, close all those other browser tabs, and let your family know your schedule. And here's a little secret. Those structured breaks you take, they aren't for being lazy. They're a professional tool you use to reset your focus and stay at the top of your game all day. All right, so your fortress is built. Now it's time to design your day. And the single biggest mistake I see traders make is trying to cram their life into a trading style. The smart way, the sustainable way, is to do the exact opposite. You pick a trading style that actually fits the life you want to live. And this table here makes the trade-offs crystal clear. I mean, look at it. You want to be glued to the screen, chasing that intraday action? Day trading might be for you, but notice the lifestyle hit. It means a strict daily routine and not a lot of flexibility for travel. Prefer something that works with a job or family? Check out swing trading. You're holding positions for a few days or weeks, and it might only take an hour or two each day. And if maximum freedom is what you're after, well, long-term investing needs the least amount of screen time by far. But, no matter which style you land on, this right here is non-negotiable. When the markets get choppy, when your emotions are running high and everything's flashing red, you don't want to have to think. You just fall back on your process. That routine is your anchor in the storm. And a really solid routine has 3 parts. First, you've got your pre-market phase. That's for getting prepared. You're doing your homework, making a game plan before the bell rings. Then there's the active session. That's all about execution, calmly putting that plan into action. And finally, the post-market review. This is where the real growth happens. You analyze what worked, what didn't, and why. If you skip any one of these, it's like trying to sail a ship without a map, a rudder, and a logbook. It's just not going to end well. This brings us to our final section. And honestly, this could be the most important part of this whole thing: playing the long game. A trading career isn't a sprint, right? It's a marathon. And if you want to finish that marathon, you have to take care of your entire well-being. Now, take a look at this chart. You notice what's missing? Your P&L, your profit and loss. It isn't even on here. Why? Because your P&L is just an outcome. It's the result of these 5 other things. Your physical and mental health, they dictate how good your decisions are. Financial stability outside of trading, that gets rid of the pressure to make desperate, dumb trades. And having social connections and hobbies, that's what stops the burnout and isolation that can absolutely wreck a career. And speaking of financial stability, this number right here, it's beyond critical. Having 6 to 12 months of your living expenses saved up is your psychological buffer. It's your armor. It means a bad week or even a bad month doesn't put you in a panic about paying your bills. This is what gives you the freedom to trade your plan, not your bank account balance. And that is the absolute key to thinking clearly when the pressure's on. Let me be perfectly clear. Your most important asset is not your trading capital. It's you. Bad sleep messes with your brain. Exercise is how you manage stress. A crappy diet leads to energy crashes. So getting enough sleep, going for a run, eating well, staying hydrated, taking eye breaks, these are not just nice-to-haves. They are fundamental tools for peak performance in a super high-stakes profession. And finally, you have got to actively fight the isolation that trading can bring. You have to be deliberate about it. This means talking to your loved ones about your schedule so they get it. It means actually putting quality time with family and friends on the calendar so it happens. And it means having hobbies that have absolutely nothing to do with the markets, just to remind yourself that you are so much more than your last trade. So we'll wrap up with this. This is the ultimate gut check question you have to ask yourself every single day. The goal isn't to become a slave to the screen. It's to use the market as a tool to build the life you actually want. Always make sure you know which one is really in charge.